In today's video, we have got 3 brand new games that have been revealed. Let's just get into it.
바쳐 영웅을 위해 싸워라.
Now here's a company that I didn't hear about for an extremely long time and wasn't expecting it to actually come back. Project Magnum, the first game, which is an action shooter, and Project HP, the second game, which is a medieval epic, are both being made by Nexon. And no lie, all I can remember about Nexon is that they're the creators of Combat Arms, that really old FPS game that I absolutely loved at the time, but just left because it became pretty boring and grindy once players started to leave the game, and Nexon couldn't make that much money on it. I had a really good time with the game, and now to see that they're back creating AAA projects is pretty surprising. It's been said the company took a break from games over the last years to come out and create massive IPs that people will actually want to play, and the two most interesting ones, well at least for my channel, is Project Magnum and Project HP, which we're gonna get into it right away. Let's talk about the first game, Project Magnum, which is one of the AAA games Nexon is working on and trying to make it appealing to the Western market and coming to PC and next-gen consoles. Everything we're seeing here in this trailer is supposed to be either in-engine with the cinematics and gameplay footage when we see the third-person perspective, and it does look pretty to look at with the many different environments, bosses and such. Project Magnum is touted as a game that combines RPG play with third-person shooter combat in a world ravaged by monsters. You'll be able to take on these bosses either alone in single player or with your friends in co-op, and it'll offer exciting fights for each bosses, with some people comparing it to Returnal, for example, just with completely different monsters and in co-op, or maybe the forgotten BioWare project called Anthem, which could have been so amazing. It seems Nexon is back in full force in the mainstream media with this project, as Project Magnum will be one of the most important games coming to the Western market, along with the other game I'm going to talk about in this video. Project Magnum will also present beautiful visuals and attractive and unique characters based in a sci-fi style player versus environment worldview. It'll feature a unique sci-fi story that we haven't heard or seen before, with armor and equipment that hasn't been used in any other sci-fi projects, and also weapons that can do a lot of damage depending on what you choose. The game is aiming to provide exciting battles using various skills depending on the character you've chosen, also actions and guns, as well as the fun of high quality PvE shooter battles that targets huge bosses. It is also said to be high quality boss battle and not just enemies that you keep on shooting on and on until they die an hour later. Project Magnum will be available in most major markets worldwide. More information on the release schedule of Project Magnum will be announced at a later date. Let me know what you guys think of it, and let's get into the second game by Nexon, which is a medieval project. This is Project HP. About a month ago at the time of this video, Nexon officially announced its upcoming medieval PC war game Project HP, which is developed by the subsidiary Nat Games. Inspired by other titles such as Mountain Blade, Chivalry Medieval Warfare and Mordhau, Project HP is Nexon's attempt to create something new in the medieval genre. As you can see, it does look like a Korean medieval game with the characters, the numbers above people's head and such, but it is said to all feel right when the game will release, and the game and its features will be improved because they're listening to the players' feedback with this one. There's also some people saying we'll be able to turn off all those numbers and symbols in the in-game menu when playing, so you get a more authentic medieval experience. Nexon claimed that the 3 games which they drew inspiration from did not manage to find success in the mainstream market, and that this game can do something different and manage to keep players interested and always coming back. Project HP will achieve that goal, they said. The main feature of Project HP revolves around large-scale PvP battles with a medieval Dark Age setting, featuring a clash of steel and magic. According to Nexon, players have the ability to transform into heroes after accumulating achievements, but declined to reveal more details on this weird system, though they actually confirmed that Project HP is a true PvP action game. game, though I'm still not sure about these hero abilities or something like that. Project HP will include elements of fantasy and even magic, with classes and little abilities made to do that, even though the game is more focused on physical and melee combat. Here's the quick official description of the game. HP is an explosive PvP medieval fantasy multiplayer melee action game. Grab your weapon of choice and storm the battlefield to engage in massive, all-out hack and slash swordpunk warfare. Get ready to spear, slice and shatter your way to victory. For myself, I like the look of it all, but I would really want to be able to take out all those numbers and symbols during a game. I've just never been into that, and especially not with a medieval project. No medieval game should have these sorts of things in my opinion, especially if it's not an RPG. Let me know what you guys think of both these games and if you've played any of Nexon's past games, or if you at least know about the company. Next up we have got Serial Hunter, a brand new journalist action game where you hunt down serial killers. You are John Doe. On the surface you lead a perfectly normal life as an investigative journalist in one of the biggest newspapers. Of course, if one could call normal life writing about crimes the day after day. You know this world very well. You also know how often the perpetrators are not held responsible or are given sentences inadequate to the crime. Well, it's time to take matters into your own hands and put things in order, the game's description says. As an investigative journalist, you have access to many tools that allow you to track down the bad guys. Use police frequency monitoring, whistleblower services, and connection to municipal surveillance to establish the identity and whereabouts of your target. Plan your actions carefully, learn your target's life patterns, and become their shadow. Only then will you perform the perfect trial. It is only up to you what judgment you will pass on your target. Does a thief who steals from lonely old women deserve prison, or is it enough to break his hands with a crowbar as a warning? The choice is yours and only yours, as you are the conscience of this world and the good spirit of this city. The fate of its inhabitants is in your hands. You can earn experience points and unlock more and more toys, from baseball bats to construction tools. There are plenty of ways to deliver justice, and your imagination is the only obstacle. Do justice with style, as befits a true gentleman, or make fun and be creative. But remember to always clean up the mess. Remember that society also has its idea of justice. If you lose your emotions rein and off the line too many times, you will face negative reception. The police will throw all their strength on the streets to get you down. Remain the hero in the eyes of the public, or do enough to see yourself become a villain. The choice is yours. The game looks pretty promising in its description, but I would definitely need to see some gameplay before actually saying it looks good, so I'll be waiting on that. Let me know if you guys are interested in this one. For more content on upcoming games just like these, or just upcoming games in general, make sure you guys support this video and of course subscribe to stay tuned. I'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks to Richard Westfall, Bruce Rain 236, Thunderbeard, Kianzo Fagari, Rickno23, Diamond Hunter 45, Themistocles, Space Beer Gaming, and Rush Singbati for being a master member on the channel. You can become a survivor member for as low as 99 cents only by clicking the join button below. This will support me and the channel as a whole to continue making videos on the games that truly deserve it.